What's up, everybody? Matt Hospitaller, prospecting geologist here. Following up on the heels of last week's video, we are going to delve into some more in-depth features and tools within kind of QGIS and a little bit into Saga GIS. So stick around and we're going to dig into these here. So for this time, we are going to be looking at we're just going to use LiDAR from the Vane Mountain area of North Carolina. It has a lot of interesting stuff to look at. So we are going to go once again to the national map, and we're going to download these two footprints here that cover Vane Mountain and the surrounding areas. So if you want to skip, if you already have this or want to skip past this part, feel free to. We are going to download these two download link TEF files for the 1 meter LiDAR data. Okay, so now that we got those downloaded in our folder, we're going to open both of them in QGIS here. So once again, we're going to go over to the raster option over here. Click on that. Where did I place these? They're in the North Carolina mines. Wait. Yeah. DEMs. And there are these two right here. So we go open, add. If this pops up, just hit OK. It should be fine. Hit close. So there are our two DEM files downloaded from the National Map System of Vane Mountain. So now what I want to delve into here is, let's say we have our map that we want to make is like right on the line between these two files. And we only want a specific area right around here that's smaller, so we can make a Google Earth overlay in Saga GIS. But if we merge these two tiles and just simply try and use that, it'll be way too large to turn into a Google Earth overlay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to still merge them. So go to Raster, Miscellaneous, Merge, Input Layers, select all, hit Run. Let it load. Okay, so now we have our merged raster files here. And let's say we want a point right in here. So we're not going to generate a hill shade on here, since our end goal is to get it into Saga GIS to create a Google Earth overlay. If we generate a hill shade and try and do it, it's just adding, you can't export the hill shade to Saga GIS to then put it into Google Earth. So you have to just use the base data here. But so what we're going to do is now we're going to extract or clip out the area that we want. So we're going to go to Raster, Extraction, Clip Raster by Extent. The input layer is going to be the merged one. Clipping Extent, you're going to come over to here and say Draw on Map Canvas. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cover this whole area right here, which spans between the two tiles. So click that. We'll save this to file. So under advanced parameters, clipped extent, save to a file. Taking its good old time. Save it to whatever file you wish to save. If I can find mine. Okay, so now we have our clipped file here. You can kind of see it open and close in the center of the screen there. It's a little faint, but you can see the outline. So now we have saved that file to our location. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go in and open Saga GIS and open that file. So now we're in Saga GIS. We're going to open our new file there. So go and pull up that file from wherever you saved it. So now we're at our location where we saved it. We are going to open that file in Saga. It'll open there. Now we'll go geoprocessing to visualization, grid, terrain map view. The only two options that we have there. We're not going to add topography because it slows everything down. Boom. There's our clipped out area of Vane Mountain that we can now overlay in Google Earth. So once again, to overlay in Google Earth, map, and then down to export map to Google Earth. You're usually going to want cell sizes. 1 will give you the best resolution. Larger numbers are going to give you worse resolution. So click OK. And it may take a little bit to load into Google Earth. And now it is opening and loading itself onto Google Earth. And there it is. The Vane Mountain DEM file loaded onto Google Earth. And you can zoom in and see all the workings that they did all over the place here. And if you look, so they have the Vane Mountain mine showing on the mineral resource data system, and the Second Broad River placer. But those are the only 2 mines showing up within this area. But if we take a closer look, I am sure there are workings elsewhere in here that are not marked as any type of mine. Like this whole valley right here to the east of both the Second Broad River placer and the Vane Mountain placer. This whole valley was worked. So it just goes to show you that not all areas that were mined are documented by the mineral resource data system or other sources. There are a couple good maps of this area in some geologic and mineral stuff that show a whole bunch of mines all over this area and what streams were worked. So that's how you basically clip out a area of between 2 tiles so you can minimize the size and everything. Okay, so the next thing we're going to jump into here is making an actual map. So like when I say map, I mean something that has like a title, a north compass, a legend, the size scale, and all that stuff as something that you are going to be able to then, usually you export it as a PDF and you can print it out to have it in hard copy with you there in the field. So we're going to use this same area that we clipped out of the Vane Mountain area. But now we will run our hillshade stuff on it. So raster, analysis, hillshade. We're going to use the clipped vein. We'll do a vertical exaggeration. We'll say 5 for this area. And altitude of light at 90. And hit run. And it pulls that up. And this is even better LiDAR than what the Saga GIS will give you. I mean, if you compare this to the Saga GIS, this is just amazing. I will delve, I think that's going to be another video coming up here, is comparing the various LiDAR rendering programs and use programs and what gives you the best resolution, but then also ones that give you like the best area to scan over to find new stuff. So, okay, so now that we have this is the area that we want to make a actual map of. Actually, we're going to say we want to make a map of this valley right here. So this placer work valley right here, let's say we have interest in and we want to make a map to take it out into the field. So what we're going to do now is go up over to the left side, upper left corner here, and go new print layout. You can call it whatever you want. I don't know the exact name of this creek. We'll call it Vein Mountain Map. Hit OK. And it's going to bring up this page for you. So now what you need to do is come over to this left side. And let me figure out which one it is. It should be this one, I believe. Add map. So it's this add map feature over here. And what you're going to do is it then gives you a crosshair selector. You're going to basically make it the size of this paper that you have. And it's going to render your map here like this. But we do have some white over here we want to get rid of. So what we're going to do is select this map. Come over to the right side, and right in here, there's interactively edit map extent. So click that, and then what you can do is you can just simply drag this map around, and it'll kind of reload on here how you want it. Okay. So now that we have this loaded on here, what we want to do, hang on, I don't like getting blocked. So now what we want to do is we're going to add a title, a legend, a scale bar, and a north arrow to make it a proper map. So title, we're going to put it up here in this upper area. We're going to call it Vein Mountain Area. Just something simple. And we need to put in a frame and a background to make that more visible. And then we're going to adjust the font some, center, middle. And the font needs to be a bit bigger. There we go. So now we have a title here. Now we'll add a scale bar. Over here, once again, on the left side, you add a scale, and it should automatically calculate that out for you. So it's that size is 200 meters. So that's there, and then we want to add a north arrow. And it should automatically orient to map north, not necessarily magnetic north. Just keep that in mind. And then the legend, we will add far over on this side here. Which we will have to, something you have to do with the legend normally is, let me find where it's pulling stuff from. Resize to fit contents, legends update. Only show items inside current atlas feature. Only show items inside linked map. There we go. So now it shows you those two things. Those aren't necessarily the most useful. I'm just kind of showing you how to put a legend in here on the side. But if you were to have drawn other things in here, then it would show up in the legend. So now what you do is you export to PDF. So up here in the top left, once again, we have export as PDF. And click that. Basically save it to wherever your file is. You don't really need to worry about any of that stuff. And hit save. And then you should be able to click and open it. Vein Mountain Map. And then you should have basically a PDF open that then you can easily print out and like laminate and take into the field with you. Once again, there is some more intricate stuff you can do with this, because if you go back to the main QGIS, and if you remember on the previous video, we did the search QSM. You can add Google roads. However, I don't think there's any roads in this area, which is kind of fun. Yep. 0 roads in that entire area. But you can see that did add roads and everything. But yeah, that's how you basically make a PDF map for you to print out from QGIS. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to kind of delve into, this might be a little more niche, but is basically how to take a DEM file like this and convert it to an STL so you can 3D print it. In this case, we do not need the hillshade anymore. We are only going to want the clipped vein, and I think we're going to clip this down even further to just basically like vein mountain area right in here. So what you will need to do this is you will need to add plugins. So normally you'd come into manage and install plugins up here in the upper left. Click that, it'll open up, and then you can search. And basically what you want to search is DEM to STL. Actually just type in STL. And there are two here, STL generator and DEM to 3D. I kind of forget which one. You can download both and play around with them, but I mainly use DEM to 3D. So let's go and do this here. DEM to 3D. Click on that. We're going to go clipped vein is our layer input. And we will do draw. We are going to draw our extent on the map here. So click draw extent. And basically what you do then is you just select this area like this, and that will be the area that is drawn. Give it a little bit of time to load back up. So now it has input the four corners of the 3D printed area that it's going to pull from. This says recommended is 0.02, so you just go 0.2 for recommended. Now the width and length, this is going to come into what size your 3D printer can print. Mine, I like about 220 millimeters is generally a good size. I think I can print up to 250, but it gets a little tight. We could do 230. So we got 230 there. That gives us a length 171. Now the next thing we need to do is put in the height. And this is slightly confusing. But this height M needs to be a bit lower than what the lowest point says it is here. So this is 307 is the lowest point. So we may want to do, say, like 290. And that should give us our base, basically, what it is going to have a little bit before it starts the terrain above it. A vertical exaggeration for this area, it's pretty steep, so we're just going to go 2. So now what you do is you're just going to click. Everything else should be good in here, and we're going to go export to STL. May take several minutes, so click yes. Just save it wherever. I'm just going to save it on desktop right now. And it's going to take a couple minutes to load. So we'll be back when it's loaded. Okay. So now our STL file has been generated. So now basically the next step is to pull it up within your slicing software for your 3D printer. I have this, I think I just saved it on desktop. Clipped vein model. So we're just going to double click on that, and it is going to open up my default slicer right now, which is Bamboo Studio for the Bamboo Lab. Cura is a normal one that a lot of you guys use, and I use as well for the other printers, but we'll let that load up. So now it's loading up within Bamboo Slicer here, and here is, zoom in a little bit, here is our, this is once again 2 times vertical exaggeration to pull out features better. But this is Vein Mountain. on the 3D printer. And I will I'm going to print this, and I will insert a time lapse of it being printed for your enjoyment as well. And if you're interested in this or anything else, let me know. I can always throw this STL file up for you guys, or print any off for you if you want some. But that's basically, I think that's going to be it for this video. We've delved into a number of interesting features on QGIS and Saga GIS again that have many uses, from gold prospecting, metal detecting, archaeology, historical studies, or just simply studying terrain and geomorphological features. Super powerful tools that everyday people should be able to use here for whatever your purposes are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this content. And I think we'll be back next week with another LiDAR video. So we will see you then.